Well, hello again. How are you guys? Uh, I want to talk about something. I think we're at a time. I'm in my subconscious mind, so I realize that when I say these things, I'm kind of talking to myself because I know I'm in my own subconscious mind. But I want to say this. We're at a point where I think it's time to really focus on yourself and not get into what other people should do at this point. Because I feel like people are where they're going to be for the most part. And the best thing to do is, other than, other than just going and voicing your opinions or whatever, how you feel about something, and then just going and mind your business. Um, it's really a time to focus more on yourself because things are starting to get real. Things are really starting to get real, and it's going to take everything that you have, all of the work that you can possibly do for with yourself, to raise your frequency, your vibration, to make sure that you're not in alignment, and myself included, to make sure that you or I are not in alignment with some of the bad things that's supposed to be coming. And with that being said, there's just no room to focus on somebody else's behavior that I might not care for. I really can't allow that to be my problem because this is a crucial time. Maybe 2 years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, or maybe prior to 2020, like 2019 or 2018, maybe that was a time to really, you know, worry about what somebody else is doing. But like, and the reason I bring this up because I like to a lot of the people that I'm subscribed to are so-called black women, right? But when I listen to some of these so-called black women, true enough, they not I don't really subscribe to the women that always talk about men, especially this black man and the black man and how the black man is treated. I get so tired of hearing that because people don't realize that was a whole psyop. People do not realize how they were played with that. They don't realize it. The white man is not in charge. The, they don't know it's the black man that's really in charge for all this. They don't know that. And so I can't get into hearing these women talk like that. Uh, but still, because I like to listen to a lot of so-called black women, I'm subscribed to them. Sometimes they like to get into telling other so-called black women what they supposed to do. And it's like, it's to the point where just let it go. Just let it go. Let people be who they're going to be. The problem is that we have been divided as a people in this world. We have been divided as a people. And so now you see another and I do say so-called because that's how she's identified in the United States of America. So I say the word so-called. So you see another so-called black woman behaving a certain way, and you have an opinion on her behavior. It's like, just leave her alone. Like, seriously, let her be. You don't know that person. That person, that's a particular energy. You don't know what kind of, you want to say, but black women, you shouldn't do this and you should do that and do that. And it's not about you wanting to. You shouldn't look at a person's skin complexion. You don't know who that is under that skin. You don't know what that is under that skin. Because with your 3D vision, you think you're looking at a human being, but you don't know what's really under that skin that's really hiding behind it in a dimension that's unseen, that's actually using this person's physical appearance to make it look like she's the so-called black woman, but it's really somebody else acting a doggone fool and having the world thinking it's black women. So that's why I say let just, you know what, this is a crucial time to really, and this is, advice probably is for me more than anything, but I'm not into giving people advice. I just feel like talking. I just feel like talking. Because I don't have a lot of friends. Let me tell you something. I don't want people around me like that. I do not want people around me like that. So I upload these type of videos because I don't really feel like talking to anybody on the phone. I don't want to hang out with folks. Uh, this is a time where I just don't want to physically be around people. I want to be around the least amount of physically people as possible until like whenever it's a good time to really just start getting around people. I think I want to just hold off of working. I want to just like build up my money and probably hold off of working until like whatever mid next year or something. Like this needs to pass. I don't even want to be bothered with work. Honestly, like it's that serious. But it's more for me than it is for because a lot of people are just programs, including what looks like so-called black people. They're just programs, and some of us are real. And so it's important for me not to get sucked into just being around a lot of people like that. Um, but I heard a lady, talk about how you have some women, some so-called black women in the community that I guess they've been so traumatized by men that they don't want to deal with men and they rather deal with women. And you just had this one, a woman, some women that have opinions about that. And my thing is, listen, um, if she feel like she's been traumatized by a lot of men and she don't want to, why force her to have sex with somebody? If she's been raped, if she's been molested, she's been raped, she might have been gang raped, and a lot of her interactions with that have been with men have been very unhealthy and very violent. Then why want to force her to be with a man? Just leave her alone. This is what I'm talking about. People need to leave other folks alone. Because when a man likes another man, I'm not interested in forcing him to like women. I don't like that. I really don't care for that because whatever's in their heart is what they're going to do. Whatever's in their heart is what they're going to do. So if it's not in that man's heart to be with another woman, I don't. People should not force him to be with another woman. And you never know what reasons that he don't want to be with a woman. But especially a lot of women who choose not to deal with men because they've had a lot of trauma. So them, you know what? I'm gonna show you this Amazon sign. I've heard this man talk. I'm gonna give this man credit. The first, this is a white man who talked about the Amazon sign. He talked about the Amazon sign, and he said it's in the shape of a penis. Okay? He talked about how the Amazon sign was in the shape of a penis. And I never paid attention to it, but when I started talking about, what's his name? The Fullerton Informer. Every time he talked about Amazon, he talked about the symbol and how it's the shape of a penis. And I said, you know what it is. But I'm looking at this and I'm gonna show you. Okay? Maybe that's the reason why some women do not want to. Oh, I already said I don't want penetration. But me not wanting penetration is not about me really hating men. I've come to realize I think it might be unhealthy. I really think that men are parasitic. I mean that. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I've never been with another woman. I've never touched another woman. Okay? I've been with men, never been with another woman, but I've decided I don't want to even deal with a penis anymore because I feel like men are parasitic. I feel like men are parasitic, and I feel like you have other women that need to uh, you have other women that here's my thing. You're not. Most people are not in a position to tell other folks what to do because they haven't figured themselves out completely. So if you have not figured yourself out completely, and if you have figured yourself out completely, or if you even over halfway figuring yourself out, then you would know to let somebody just go in and live. I don't care what kind of decisions they make. Let them live. Because it's nothing you can do to change them. Even if they're engaged in a behavior that's very dangerous, it's nothing. You can't just get out there and jump out there and you can't just jump in the middle. You can't just jump in the middle. But you see how that Amazon symbol is basically a penis? That's the stuff right there that I'm tired of. I really, the men in this particular realm of existence is very toxic. And I don't blame, if most women want to get away from men, I don't blame them. And just let me say this. I've never been with a woman. I'm not going to promote lesbianism or nothing like that. But let me just say this. You have women that don't want don't that are very much heterosexual. Okay, and I can say I'm heterosexual too. I've only been with men, but at the same time, I just feel like at this point I think they're kind of toxic. That's all I'm saying. But I've heard a heterosexual woman say, "Look, yeah, you might talk about these lesbian women, but here's the thing: you don't the cases of HIV between women who are lesbians and women who are heterosexual is lower. It's not to say that none of them have HIV. It's not to say that none of them have HIV. It's not to say that. But it's lower than women who are heterosexuals. Now, I didn't look at the test results to see if that, any kind of statistics to see if that was true. But I would think that that probably is true, that the HIV rate in women who only like other women is probably much lower than women who engage with men. So what does that mean? Like, men are kind of deadly. Men are kind of deadly, aren't they? You know, look at this Amazon. That's normal, huh? To have a picture of a penis. Nobody, I think nobody saw it like that, but that's a whole penis. That's a whole penis. They're letting you know this is patriarchy. Okay. Let me put this up again. They're letting you know this is patriarchy. Okay. I got my little computer on, so I'm trying to. Okay. This is patriarchy. They letting you know what time it is, huh? They letting you know what time it is. This is patriarchy. That's what time it is. Is that not toxic? Is that not toxic? He has a whole wife. I wonder how is his wife happy? She getting the money, but is she happy? You know another thing? A lot of women have to learn to be okay with these men going around to sleep with other women. A lot of these women who are in marriages have to learn to be okay with their husbands going around messing around with other women. Okay, but what if I don't want to be okay with that? He's sticking his penis in somebody else's vagina and then he comes back to me. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like you sticking yourself in somebody else and then you come back to me because then I have to use protection with my own husband. And then he can't even kiss me in the mouth because I don't know where his mouth been. So now I can't even be intimate with my own husband because he like to go mess with other women. And this is what a lot of men do. A lot of men like to go and mess with a lot of other women. And it's not that other women don't do it, but what is the point of being with a man? Listen, here's my thing right here. At this point, what's the point of being with men? I feel like the only use of being with them is to create children because women have fallen in frequency to a point where they cannot create children without the help of semen anymore. And so I feel like that's the only reason why women should deal with men. I just don't see the point in just being with somebody just to have sex with them. I don't see it though. I don't. That's just me. That's not to criticize somebody else who feel like doing it because I feel like here, people are just gonna do whatever they're gonna do. That's where they at. That's where their consciousness is at, and that's gonna be them. But me, unless I want to have a child with, have a child, and right now in this particular type of frequency and this vibration being low, my vibration being lower, I can't have a child other than with the help of semen. That's just it. Now, in a much, much higher frequency, women were able to have children without the help of men, but they only gave birth to girls. See, that was a time when there wasn't men. So when women want to attack these women who are with other women, I get that because we've been in a religious kind of atmosphere where homosexuality is like considered a sin because of religion. Religion has made it a sin, right? And so because of that, it's very much frowned upon between women and men. It's just very much frowned upon. But my thing is, there was a time when there was no men. So what were women doing then? And I don't think they were literally having this type of the way that lesbians are doing right now. I don't think women were doing that. This is a lower frequency. Those women were on a much higher frequency. I don't think they were behaving the way these lesbians are behaving in this particular vibration. What were women doing when there was only females and there was no males? What were they doing then? There wasn't even a concept of a male. It was only female. A male wasn't even thought about. So where did he come from? See, it looked like this male was an accident. I'm just saying. There was a time when it was only female. There was no men. Where did he come from? It looked like this was an accident. It looked like this was a fall from grace for the female. In order for her to keep herself going, to keep her bloodline going, she had to keep procreating with this male until she get back into a frequency where she don't need him to give birth to herself anymore. But see, I feel like that's why the male continues to make her feel like she need him. Either way that may, I'm not trying to promote no kind of lifestyles. I'm not trying to promote any kind of lifestyle. I'm into. It's just no room to try to tell anybody what to do, because this is a crucial time where it's best to learn and focus on yourself. But at the same time, um, when somebody wants to talk about women who are with other women and talking about how the man should be around, but a lot of these women have been traumatized by probably their fathers, their uncles, their cousins. Their interactions with men have been very violent and very toxic and very abusive. And you have other women that tell these women to still be with men. But these women that like to do that, they're not really in any kind of relationships with men themselves. Now maybe they're not with other women like myself. I'm not with other women, but I'm not with other men either. So why would I tell somebody else, even if she has a lifestyle of a lesbian, why would I go and tell her to be around a man, to be with a man when I'm not with one and I don't want one? So why would I go and tell her to be with a man? A lot of these women that keep wanting to criticize a woman's alternative lifestyle, they're not with a man themselves, and they don't know how to get the kind of man they feel like they want. They don't know how to get it. So why tell somebody else to be with a man when you're not really sure how to get the ideal man that you might want? And a lot of these same women might say, well, it's not really any good men. Then why? Then leave them alone. Stop telling women to be with men when you don't really feel like it's any good men around anyway. Then why are you telling women to even be with them and have sex with them? Also, you know what? You know what that came from? I found out years ago. I'm not kidding. I found out years ago that we were not supposed to be having sex with men. Now, the man is actually the woman. I know that might sound crazy, but he's like a what is the word? It's like the Y chromosome is like a broken X. So it's almost like he's basically the woman, but he's different, but he's still the same person. Okay. The Y is a broken X. It's like a mutation. Now you might have some men that might want to argue that. No, it's not a mutation. Okay, but why are so many of you guys so unhealthy? Like men are literally they're unhealthy. And if you want to if you don't believe it, just get rid of men. Get rid of men and just leave the woman around and see how things turn around. You really actually will get back to the real world. But that Y is like a broken X, so that means that he's still a woman. He's a mutation. He's not really a man. He's still a woman. So that means women who think they're with men that think they're in heterosexual relationships, actually they're lesbians. Like these men are still women. Anyway, that's crazy. But and I actually heard a man say that. I actually heard Bobby Hemmett say that men are basically still women. I heard Bobby Hemmett say that men are basically still women. Okay, so women are in lesbian relationships then. You're calling one person a man and one person a woman, but both of you still female. Ain't no such thing as masculine. Everything is feminine, including the men. They feminine, but they want to have this old this toxic behavior. I don't even know if I can blame them. I don't know if they can help. They can't help who they are. But I know it can't be any more tolerance for it. That I do know. But I don't think they can help it. Um, I was listening to a lady, and I wish I could find this lady's video again. I wish I could find this. It was a person who commented under my channel several years ago. She used to be a person who would comment frequently under my channel. And when I went to click on her channel, she have videos that she created that she saved, but it's other people's videos. But it's a lot about what happened to the feminine. And I heard this one video of I didn't see the woman's face, but I can tell that she was more an elder, right? The woman was she was an elder. I can tell by her voice. She sounded like she like at least in her 60s. At that time, she was in her 60s or late 50s. Okay, and she was talking about how we should not be having sex with men. That's what she said. And she said each time you having sex with a man, you're saying it's okay for him to rape you. I kid you not. I kid you not. She said each time you having sex with a man, you are saying it is okay for him to rape you. It is okay to be raped because that is rape. Now, if that's extreme, I don't know, but I heard her say that, and I thought that was so interesting. And I have so many books talking about the woman and the feminine, and I'm gonna get into those books, and I might start just going over that a little bit on this channel. And I might just create a Patreon if it's something that I want to continue doing, and I already know YouTube is going to shut it down. Shut down my videos and get rid of my videos, and eventually shut down the whole page if I try to bring that on YouTube. But if I decide to do a Patreon, it wouldn't be no more than $5 a month. $4.99, $5 a month. It wouldn't be a lot. It'd just be something because I know I can't bring it on YouTube without them taking down my channel, because that is the threat right there. That's the real threat. So anyway, I'm looking at the time, and I'm actually annoyed that it's time to get ready for tomorrow. It's like 5 o'clock California time, so that means like it's 8 o'clock Eastern time. So I know it's even later over in the Eastern, and Central time is 7 o'clock. And so I don't feel like it, but it's time for me to go on and get ready and get ready for the day, get ready to work tomorrow. But you know what? My work is good. I actually like what I do. Kind of like what I do. I just like relaxing. You know what the reason why I like relaxing is because I get to sit and just not have the world in my mind. I get to sit and not have the world in my mind. And that's what I like about relaxing. Um, yeah. Yeah. But anyway, that is it. And I will talk to you later. Okay.